Solo Leveling is back, and what a fantastic first episode for the new season. Honestly, for those that missed my impressions of the first season, I was always kind of mixed on the series overall, but I think it's got a fantastic premise here. This idea of a guy that's got like video game mechanics that are buffing him up, dangers throughout the world, hunters that are going to these gates and taking down monsters. And I think the most intriguing thing that I've had for the series overall is kind of the puppeteering that's happening. I've always suspected that this individual, this being that has given him this ability to level up, has always been puppeteering things. So yes, him going through this gate and it turning red, how convenient. Convenient? Question mark? I always think that there's something in the background that's manipulating things in order to power him up. My theory has always been that whoever gave him the power is trying to get him stronger so that he'll beat something else on the other side of the gate. Like there's like multiple leaders on the other side of the gate, and this one wants to rise up, and so they're manipulating a human to come to their side, get powerful enough to take down the other leadership. That's kind of where I think things are going. And yes, I think with this whole red gate, it's probably another case of that. There's another case of something happening that's trying to push him to get stronger. Unfortunately, what that means is everybody that's around Sung is getting pulled into it as well. And yes, so all these individuals are unfortunately just casualties in the mix of the whole thing here. But yes, I'm still kind of bummed that they're still bringing in Hwang. I've not really liked that storyline, the idea of Dong-suk, who was trying to PK Sung in the dungeon, and Sung taking him out, and then his big brother showing up and wanting to take him down. Like, this is his whole driving force. I have to kill this guy, even though even in this episode, and yes, some of this skip content from the manga that I read alongside the episodes, it seems like he doesn't really care about him. Yes, manhwa, I don't care. Don't get in the comments section. Don't go in the comments. I'm probably going to call it manga in the future again. Don't care. But no, he's like, I don't care about my brother, but I care about taking out this guy that killed my brother. Like, he didn't even want to in the original source material, he's literally saying how, hey, do you want to go see your brother's grave? No, I don't care. He's dead. I was just curious about what he left behind. I just want to take down Sung. Why? You don't care about your brother. You think he's dead and doesn't matter anymore, but you still so badly want to kill him. I think it's probably a power trip thing. Like, he just wants to fight something that was possible to take down his brother. That's probably all that he cares about. And it's funny that everybody else is kind of facilitating it. Yes, they sort of get a little bit in the idea of like, are you going to stop me? This guy's extremely powerful. And I am intrigued by that aspect. Don't get me wrong. I am intrigued by the aspect that they've created this system where, yes, the hunters are people that are awakened to powers. And these powers do technically make them extremely powerful to hunt these dungeons. But it's not limited to just there. Like, they can use their powers outside of the dungeon. And so they are technically dangers. They are dangerous. And yes, with Hong, yes, he's so powerful that they're sort of overlooking things. They're overlooking that he does bad things. And that seems to be something that they do additionally with some hunters. And they were overlooking it with Dong-suk, his brother, who was PKing in the dungeons. They had evidence to it. Like, they were building up a case for him, but he got taken out before they finished that investigation. Like, even the guy, Wu, who was taking Huang over there, when they're in the car, he's actually thinking about that, how, yeah, they kept overlooking it because of who his brother was. They should have stopped him, but they were overlooking it because of how powerful his brother was. And I do like that aspect. That aspect is intriguing. It's just, there is an element there where I hope that they do something with it. It is technically something that has been done before. Hopefully they'll do something with it besides just another evil grinning person for Sung to beat up later on. At some point, Sung takes out and shows how powerful he's gotten. We'll see. But that's that whole stuff. They also did get into the island again, which, again, based on what I've read of the source material, not the light novel, they've never gotten to that. So I'm assuming that with the anime, they're trying to breadcrumb it in. I've been told by some people it seems like they're trying to breadcrumb that story in rather than to have it show up at some point. So yes, based on what we've seen with the end of the first season, they're confirming it that they do have wings. They're going to be leaving that island possibly here soon, so they have to handle it. But that's that whole thing. Anyways, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the episode, which is, yes, Sung, him going to the student-teacher meeting thing, the parent-teacher meeting thing for obviously his mom's not doing well, so she can't go. But he's going there in order to meet with the teacher. And yes, he's hot. I feel like most of this show is going to be whenever he's out of the dungeon, he's hot. It's like everything, all the story beats outside of the dungeon is just Sung is hot, or he is, tricking some big guild or something like that, which obviously he did with the Tiger Guild. But yes, he's hot. He's in the school, and his sister's like, oh, wow, I'm going to hook you up with some of these students. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. But no, it was interesting because, yes, he goes and meets the teacher, finds out that his sister's doing very well. In the manhwa, they even kind of emphasize the idea that, yes, his sister used to not be that big on doing this stuff. Like, he's talking to Han, and she's like, man, your sister's probably a massive nerd. Like, she's pictures in her room having, like, dictionary pages up on the walls. But no, Sung's like, no, that's not my sister. She used to actually be, like, super into, like, going to the arcade and having fun. But something changed. And yes, the obvious, suggestion there is that, yes, at the point in which their mother probably got ill, she decided to, bootstraps. Get them bootstraps on, get to working and get better. And yes, that was to the point of trying to get into medical school, probably to help her mother. So that seems to be her driving force. She used to be just a normal kid. And then at some point, she had to step it up. And so she decided to start to kind of hit the books and get really smart and get in there. But yes, he still points out the fact when she's home, she just wants chicken and to go to bed. She wants to eat fried chicken and go to bed. But again, it is showing how much she's working to get better and go to medical school, probably for her mother. But yes, it emphasized the idea that, well, if she becomes awakened, or at least the teacher says, if she becomes awakened, do you think that you'll let her become a hunter? No. No. And she says, I want you to do me a favor. And then that cuts over to him meeting with Han. Now, my assumption here is that, yes, she probably said her best friend in her class has been awakened and she left school. She's no longer going to school and she's becoming a hunter. And so she probably wanted him to kind of, I don't know, it didn't kind of emphasize there. Does she want him to tell his sister to stay away from her? Since you're a hunter, can you get this girl to come back to school? That way she doesn't, rub off on your sister. That's probably the assumption there. But I found that to be very, very hypocritical. The fact that he's confronting Han and knows that she's an A rank. And yes, we've established that in the previous season that, yes, she was, being brought there in order to do some jobs where all they do is just their heads. They're heads for the roster so that they can do these dungeons. And they're just supposed to sit outside the dungeon and wait for them to come back out, and they make money. And yes, he points out to her, yeah, you're making good money, but this is a one-time deal. Like, this isn't going to be an ongoing thing. You can't make a living as an E rank. Hello, pot, kettle, black? Like, he's literally a hypocrite because what has he been doing this whole time? He's been an E rank, going into dungeons, trying to make money for his mother, and he's not been making crap for money. It's not until he was reawakened, and now he's going to Han and saying he's trying to scare her out of it, which, yes, makes sense because that's what he's been through. All the crap that he's been through as an E rank, it makes sense that he'd want to, dissuade her from doing this. This is not a good way to make money. He's claiming that he's not saying that, but then that's what his actions are, to take her on a raid, a training raid, and show her how useless she is so she gives up. And it's like, again, dude, you hypocrite. You're such a hypocrite. Now, yes, not everybody's going to reawaken. Not everybody's going to have the ability to level up like he is right now. That's the big thing here. Now, yes, he's technically not classified as a reawakening. He's technically just doing a different system. They've even tested him for that. But anyways, it's hypocritical. But yes, he goes there. They go into the dungeon. And again, it turns red and they get trapped inside. And as per usual with all this crap, which again makes sense to the people, survival instincts here. Of course, the A rank decides to take all the strongest people and ditch everybody else, which I like. At least somebody picks up on it. This other chick, which I think she was a B rank, she like immediately picks up on it, like, yeah, I'm going with this guy. He managed to stop an arrow. I'm going to follow him. He's obviously not E rank. He's probably a better person to be with, which is interesting. Like, even if she assumes that, I mean, the assumption here is just because he caught the arrow, that means that he's A rank or even higher. But she's got the proven 100% guy that is classified as A rank right next to her. Why would she choose to go with Song when she has a verified A rank with her? Which, again, I think it's just the fact that she saw the arrow. Like, that's going to be, okay, I'm going to survive because he caught an arrow. I'm going to follow this guy. Kim, he didn't even notice it. Which technically makes sense because you have a dungeon that is going to be probably full of these elves. The guy that can catch the arrow versus the guy that didn't even notice it, probably go with the one that catch the arrow. But no, anyways, they go with each other. I like how at some point the guy, Kim, the A rank, he even notes the fact that, why am I assuming that he's a leader? Like, he said that the leader is going to take him into a bad place. Wait, why am I assuming that he's a leader? He's an E rank. He's already picking up that, yes, there's something special about Sung. Like, there's probably a natural instinct that he acknowledges that there's something going on with Sung. But anyways, yes, they immediately go to the bear area, which is technically makes sense that if you're going to be trying to survive, and there's ice elves and there's these ice bears, and the ice bears are less of a threat, even though they are incredibly a threat. They're probably the least of the two evils, so it is kind of smart for him to go that direction. Of course, he has to pull out a bunch of coats that he has his entire thing as full of coats. I don't know. Maybe he pulled it out of the shop. I don't think he pulled it out of the shop. I think he pulled it out of his own pocket, his inventory. But it's like, why do you have that many coats in your inventory? Either way, he's like, don't ask any questions. I'm going to help you guys out. Don't ask it. I thought it was cute that he tells Han, look, I dragged you into this. I'm going to make sure you're safe. I'll get you out of here. Totally going to make her into the harem. This girl is going to be, if she survives by the end of this, which I'm pretty sure she will, I'm thinking everybody will probably die except for, there's a difficulty here in that the fact that all the trailers for the movie kind of spoil quite a bit of this, but my assumption is that at least Han will live, and I'm probably thinking everybody else will probably die. But either way, hopefully at least the B rank chick lives because she made the right call to follow them. I'm assuming the other guy's dead because he looks like a no-name, very generic looking dude. So we'll see. But yeah, he switches his title, and in the manhwa, it even points out the idea that with this new title, I can probably just kill things with my fists. So he purposely goes out of his way not to draw his weapon and to just go over there and punch the bear to death. So that works. But at the campfire, again, this is the moment where we do have that conversation in the manhwa where he's talking to Han about how his sister used to be, all in the arcades and just likes to eat fried chicken and hang out at home. But additionally, yes, that he does technically have to do his dailies, which, yes, they allude to in the anime adaptation, but he literally says to them, I'll be right back. I'm done eating. I'll be right back. I got to go do my exercise. And they're like, you're going to do exercises here? And he says, yeah, I don't want a penalty. And they're like, what are you talking about, a penalty? And yes, he literally goes out there and starts doing pull-ups on one of the branches nearby just to get his daily stuff done. But then, yes, he goes off to do the actual fight with the bears, which, yeah, really cool little segment here. Yeah, a little bit of use of the CGI with the minions, but not too bad. I think it looked really, really fantastic. And yes, obviously Ignis. Busting out Ignis at the end there was really amazing. Which, yes, it seems to imply that every time they're restoring themselves, or at least having them out there, it is draining down his mana whenever they restore themselves. Whereas, I guess once they're summoned, it's fine. So Ignis was already out there. He was able to still walk out there. But yeah, really cool to note that Ignis goes out there and literally just wrecks this leader. But then he points out the fact that with his blade drawn, he would have probably killed me. Which, yeah, technically back there was almost like an honor system that was built there. Like between Sung and Ignis in that fight, there was almost an element of honor. Like, I'm going to fight you with my fists. Okay, I'll fight you with my fists. Ignis literally, if I remember correctly, he put down his blade because Sung wasn't armed. So yeah, if he pulled his blade back here, I've been dead. Let's be honest. You're the main character. You would have just screamed like you did then to beat that. I didn't like that fight back then. For those that missed it, I did not like that fight with Ignis back then because it just really felt like he just screamed to win. I wanted it to be something clever that helped him win against Ignis, but it just turned into he screams even though he was, down for the count. But anyways, that's that. Putting that aside. But no, I do like it because it is technically something that they're keeping true to with Ignis with him, or Ingress, where Ingress really does seem like it's an honor thing. Because Sung fought him and kept fighting, he respects Sung. And so that's why he allowed him to name him and subjugate him, is because he has respect for Sung. And so even right here, Sung's pointing out the fact that, no, I think even now, even though I've leveled up, I still think he's more powerful than me. He could probably still defeat me now, even though I have leveled up since that fight with him. So it's kind of pointing out, he's allowing me to control him. And so there's a respect here. There's a mutual respect here. So it's pretty cool. I like that. I like that almost like broski nature that he has with Ingress. It's really cool. But anyways, that all aside, we also see that the other group is getting wrecked, obviously. It seems like the elves, I'm assuming the elves are probably going to let the other guy go, Kim, whatever his name is, go, so that he can possibly lead them to where Sung and the rest of the group is. I'm assuming it's kind of a hunt thing. It kind of implies that they're very brutal. They're a very brutal group, so I could see them just playing the hunt right now. But either way, the fact that those elves has taken out Kim's group, that means that they have defeated an A rank and I think 4 B ranks. That implies that they're very strong. So we'll see how Sung handles that. Obviously, he's going to handle it, but either way. It's never a question if Sung will survive, because obviously he's main character, he's going to survive, but it does beg the question of who will survive alongside him. And yes, during this entire time, we have Huang shows up at the gate, and he badly wants in. I like how Baek points out the fact that you're lucky that you got into this red gate, but we'll see if you're lucky enough to get out. But technically, once Sung does beat whatever's in there and is able to get back out, is Huang going to stay there the entire time? Does that mean that the moment he walks out that gate, we're going at it? That's the assumption there, and I would be very curious. No, I really do honestly think that Baek's probably going to possibly fight him. I don't remember. I don't know if they've classified between the two of them. I think they're similar rank between Baek and Huang. It does kind of emphasize in the manhwa that this entire time Baek's trying to figure out why the hell is everybody obsessed with Sung. You have the reps for the Tiger Guild over here. They're talking about how, like, yeah, there's also this person there we're kind of assuming is reawakened. And then suddenly out of nowhere, Huang shows up from America. He literally came all the way here. He's with Wu, and he's talking about this Sung guy. Like, no, that Kim's in there. Who why are you here for? You're here for the E rank guy? Okay, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Which I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be the shoe-in for him to the whole situation with the island, because I think that Baek was involved with that as well. I think he's talked to them about that. We'll see. Either way, that's again solid first episode for the new season. Looking forward to where it goes from here. Pretty awesome stuff. Oh, I forgot. The OP, absolute fire. The OP was absolute fire. Obviously, visually, really, really good stuff there. But I just the music was freaking fantastic, dude. You give me anything Sawano Hiroyuki, obviously I'm gonna love it. But Sawano Hiroyuki with the vocals of Lisa, yes, yes, it was super good. There's also Felix, I think, from Stray Cat. That just fantastic stuff. Absolutely phenomenal song. I think the beginning segment of it was okay, but it's really when it kicks up. And that was a segment that we got from the snippet before. It's just once it kicks up and you get Lisa's vocals in there, and yeah, you got the backup vocals that are kind of bumping in there as well. Great contrast in it. Super good stuff. I absolutely love that song. I really want the full version of it now. Hopefully it's on Spotify. But anyways, that's my thoughts on episode 13, or the first episode of season 2. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below, comment, let me know what's the episode. Additionally, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe before you leave. Like this content and you want to support down more, I have links in the description below. Greatly appreciate it, it does. Until next time, y'all take care.